place where we want to even more weave in SEL for our high school students.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Member Nicholson, Member Gately, then Member Castellanos. Member Nicholson.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for the presentation, and also for the thoughtful process that you led to get here with the input from teachers and students. I think that's terrific. I like a lot about what you said. Obviously, the rationale I think makes a lot of sense. You know, one of the things I think is particularly exciting that I saw in the presentation was the enthusiasm from students about the early college program. I think that's such a tremendous opportunity. I'm so glad that it's working well, and obviously, and it's something that we have the potential to build. And I see exactly what you're saying in terms of how the schedule facilitates that, and so I think everything we can do to sort of encourage that and build that is terrific.
What are we at?
Yeah, I'm about to start the meeting, Jimmy. Hang on a second.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, I got 6 o'clock by my watch. So I'm going to call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Cheryl, we find through the minutes.
Approval of the minutes from last meeting?
Yep, you're fine with that, right? So do you have a motion to approve minutes?
A motion. How does that work? I wasn't here, so I don't know what the minutes reflect.
You can abstain from the vote, and we have enough people. If we have a motion made and seconded, we can do that.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none?
No.
Charlie, you want to call the question?
Okay, motion to approve the meeting from June 15th, 2021.
Yes.
Yes.
Paul,
Present.
Brienzo,
Present.
and Commissioner Rowe.
Yep.
Yes, okay. So 2 presents, 3 yes to accept the minutes of the meeting.
Motion passes. Okay, Cheryl, you want to read the trash collection one?
Yeah, this was a request from the Associate Commissioner and the Ward Counselor to have no parking on trash day, which is Wednesday, and Thursday if it's a holiday, between 7 a.m. and 11 a.m. on Sachem Street. Waste Management's having difficulty collecting trash on Sachem Street and Sachem Avenue and Chancery Court, which are both to run off of Sachem Street. They can't back into those streets because the cars on Sachem Street are blocking the entrance to those 2 smaller streets.
Okay, what is the wish of the board?
Down there with Lisa and Eric, and it seems like it definitely that needs to happen, but they just can't make the turn for all the parking.
That's a motion to set down for a hearing?
Yes.
We have a second on that motion.
Second.
I'll second it. And Bob, can we be a little more specific? Can it be 11 on trash day from number 25 to number 56, Sachem Street?
Andy broke up. I didn't get that.
I'll repeat it. I heard him.
So that's the specific addresses that we need from Andy. So we're going to go with that.
Yeah. Let me try again. Can you hear me, Dave?
I can hear. Yeah, I know Lisa took pictures of the houses that the addresses. So whatever she sent, those are the ones that the people from Waste Management were down there, and they were pointing out. You know, they were very reasonable. They didn't want like the whole street disrupted. They just said, you know, whatever little bit they can get to help them the trucks make the swing is beneficial.
Okay, so we have a motion made and seconded. And we want to put an emergency on that, Andy?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm going to call the question. Any discussion on the motion first?
No.
I'll call the question. Darryl, you want to? I'm a yes.
It's a motion to sit down for public. We're 11 a.m. from number 25. So, Bob,
Yes.
President Hunter,
Yes.
Commissioner Hall,
Yes.
Commissioner Brienza,
Yes.
and Commissioner Rowe.
Yes.
All in favor?
Motion passes. Pond Street, do we want to, that would be the next thing on the agenda, Cheryl?
Yeah, Pine Street, let me just read it very quickly. This was a request from Councilor Lozey I got this morning. And he got a request from all the residents of Pond Street with an affidavit signed by them all. And I guess the issue is that the increased traffic, the amount of accidents. One person had his car totaled while it was parked in front of his house. And they're just feeling that, you know, the traffic going from Chestnut down Pond to Bowler is impacting their lives. So Council Lozey asked us to take a look at it.
Okay, why don't we wait, everybody take a look at it, and we can accept it for the file till the next meeting? How is that?
You want to table it, Bob?
Yep, if we accept it, table it, and for the next meeting? How's the board feel on that?
I'm fine with that. I think everyone should see it and get, you know, that, not like Andy said, not to jump in and rush into anything.
You know,
Yeah, and make sure it is the right thing to do in the right direction.
I can see where the residents, you know, want fewer cars on their street, but that just directs all the cars onto the next street over, Bowler. You know, where do you stop? The city's like a maze, you know. So I'm leery. See what I think.
Yeah, I have the same concern, because then you do have the school on the other street, which could put a lot more traffic with kids coming in and out of the school entrance. Because they come out on both Maple and Bowler.
I'm not a hard no. I just want to look at it.
Yep.
Yeah, you said
So,
that you wanted to include the city planner, Andy?
Yeah, I think so. I think it would be smart if the traffic commission sent this petition to the planning office, just to run it by him. He's pretty good at this sort of thing.
Okay.
If the commission agrees.
So a motion
Okay,
to
so we-
table the next meeting to include a letter to the planning office. Anybody want to make a
that
motion?
motion to table?
Yes,
I'll second that.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have one from the Ward 2 councilor, correct, Cheryl?
Yeah, that would be, Councilor Stabbins. It's the parking on East Highland. Only to, a certain area. It's from East Street to Jefferson Street. It's so narrow, that when you get to the top of the street, even though there are already do not block driveway signs and no parking here to corner, people are parking and blocking his driveway consistently. He's had the police up there. They're kind of reluctant to ticket, he said. So he just wants to be able to have no parking on that side. And Rick met with him today. He felt that if we went from number 19 or number 20, East Highland to the corner of Jefferson, that would be sufficient for that particular roadway. But Bob brought up earlier that maybe we should ask the fire department if we should have no parking both sides, because it is really a
Again, I just said it to Cheryl, sometimes we send these things to the fire department, but again, Andy, if we send it to the fire department, they're probably gonna come back saying it should be no parking both sides. I don't know if you have issues for trash trucks also.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, is the issue that the people don't heed the signs that are already there?
Right.
Yes,
I don't see how adding more signs is gonna change anything. You
Well-
could put up a sign saying the sky is red, and if they don't listen to it, what's the point?
well, again, maybe we should wait until the next meeting, table it. In the meantime, I can put the parking officials into going down to that street every day and night.
Right. I was gonna say that enforcement seems to be work wonders. But, you know, that's a great point. Like, you could put signs that there's no parking anywhere. If they're not listening to one thing, they're not gonna listen to anything.
So again, I will enforce my end with extra parking enforcement down there, and I believe the police will do what they can. And I say we just table it to the next meeting.
I'll make a motion to table and to increase enforcement.
Second.
We have a second,
I second that.
and as far as discussion on the motion, the only discussion I would have is if people are in the area, take a look at it in case we do address it in a different way. But I do think enforcement will solve the problem. Any other discussion on the motion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anything else, Cheryl?
There was one more from Councilor Scarvid, and this really just came in last minute also. He got this request a few weeks ago, though. I just got it this afternoon. Allen Ave, there are residents requesting resident parking only. Cook Street, what they were complaining about. The reason for this request is due to overwhelming parking by non-residents from surrounding streets, Chestnut Street. There are several addresses in the area that are constantly holding large parties. Their guests take up space needed by residents of Allen Ave. These people leave the parties late at night, late as 2 a.m. and cause disturbances when returning to their vehicles. And their complaint was there were a large amount of commercial trucks that use the street for parking on a daily basis.
What is the wish of the board?
I'd like to look at it. I think the same thing would be, you know, the people that go to parties aren't gonna really care if there's resident-only parking signs there. We may see some progress if we attack the commercial vehicles with enforcement. That may free up spots or have them go elsewhere so that it alleviates some of that.
So that's a motion to table to the next meeting?
Yeah, I'd like to look at it first.
Yeah, is there a
second that
second for the motion? Any discussion
Second.
on the motion?
No.
Hearing no discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion passes. Anything else, Cheryl?
Nope, that's it, Bob.
We need that important motion to adjourn, and everybody have a great holiday.
You too. I was second that motion.
Okay. And I'll send out a notice for the next meeting.
Thank you.
Which will be when we have stuff for an agenda.
Okay.
Thanks,
August.
folks.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a great
everybody.
weekend.
That's good for you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
That should be the same as Mondays.
Yes.